the arena changes, because for those of you who don't know what's going on, we just had a pretty big patch. It sounds like it's not big because it's just one line. It says Karazhan cards no longer get an offering bonus in arena. Now at first, you might think, that's not that big a deal. It's not like it's a new expansion, but it is pretty much like a new expansion, right? This means that you are no longer getting an offering bonus on any card other than, class cards and stuff. It's basically as vanilla as it gets right now. And we saw this in the transitional period going from Old Gods into Karazhan. It was a meta of its own, right? Suddenly you see cards like Muster for Battle, Coghammer, Minibot, and the Paladins, like they come back in full force. You have other things like right now, Warlock gets better, you see more implosions, in-gang bosses, all these things. So it definitely has a big impact on the arena. So I'll quickly give you my thoughts on that. And then we'll move on to the next run, which will be a coaching run. So let me get started. So I feel like the biggest winner here is going to be Paladin. And pretty sure because Paladin used to be very strong in Goblins versus Gnomes, and anytime there is no expansion bonus, Paladin goes more towards that, right? You get more of the very strong cards. Keeper of Uldaman was also a very strong card that completely defined the meta, and they'll get more of those as well right now. Does that mean that Paladin becomes the best class? No, definitely not. But Paladin was in kind of an awkward position where it kept getting bad cards, which I think was fine because Paladin was really strong, and they systematically nerfed it by giving it bad cards. But yeah, so this is good news for Paladin. Paladin will get better. I feel Warlock definitely gets better just because Warlock wasn't too great in this expansion, right? You had like Melchizar's Imp, which was a 1-drop, but it was a 1/3, not a Voidwalker. It's not a Possessed Villager, not quite that. Then you have Karazhan, which once again isn't a bad card, but it doesn't really get you that super nice curve. It's another 5-mana card, and it had a bonus, so wasn't too happy about it. And then you have Silverware Golem, which is a 3-mana 3/3, also doesn't really do anything, right? So that's why Warlock, I feel, gets much better now that all the other cards get their bonus back. We're going to see much more of those. As you guys just saw, if you get the nice classic Zoo, it does so well. The big one, right? Mage. We are not going to see Babbling Book as often. We are not going to see Medivh's Valet as often. And most important, we are not going to see Firelands Portal as often. Firelands Portal is now as common as any other common in any other expansion. So that is going to drastically change how we approach that match. That's probably the biggest change in Arena right now. Firelands Portal really defined the meta. Like, you had to play very aware of this card, and you almost had to assume they had it. I was writing up an article which will be scrapped because the meta completely changes now. But you have Firelands Portal getting an offering raid bonus. You have Firelands Portal being a class card, obviously. You have Firelands Portal being picked whenever you get offered it. I feel like very little people skip Firelands Portal. And on top of that is a 7-mana card, so people are going to have time to draw into it. So on turn 7, you could almost more than ever just assume they had Firelands Portal and play around it. That now changes. Now you're going to have to be like, well, I mean, Flame Strike is about as likely, right? Maybe even more likely. I don't quite know whether the base set has an extra bonus on it. I assume the base set has an extra bonus on it. So Flame Strike is more likely again than Portal. So it is quite substantial, this change. What else is there? Druid. I think Druid will become better. It seems weird because Druid had like Menagerie Warden. It was kind of cool, and you could do the Beast memes, but Beast memes isn't what makes Druid good. Like solid curve, good fatties, just some of your old good curve cards, your swipes, your Druids of the Claw and shit. Those are really what carries Druid, and not I created a big beast and now copied it. That's great. That doesn't happen consistently enough to really push Druid, and I think we've been seeing that in this expansion as well. Like, we anticipated Druid to be great, and then it wasn't. So Druid, I think, will also win quite big from not having the offering bonus here. What else is there on the list? I'm just going to go over my list here. Rogue. How does Rogue do? What did we get offered? Swashbuckler, which was really good. Oh my god, was it good? Peddler, it was really good as well. And then Fork, which is like, okay, nothing great, not unplayable either. So that is a big thing for Rogue. I feel like Rogue's still strong. I mean, it's Rogue. It's really consistent. It does what it does, right? But I feel like the frustrations that people have with Rogue will become a little bit less. There's going to be less like, oh my god, he swashbuckled my shit and now I lose. Peddler's also a stupid card when it reduces things. It's a pit fighter with upside. It's really strong. But overall, Rogue is still a consistent class. I don't think Rogue will suddenly become bad. I think maybe it will require a little bit more finesse and experience to pilot now rather than to just draft a bunch of swashbucklers and win. Shaman. I feel like Shaman's probably the biggest loser in this expansion. Like Shaman really thrived with Claws and Portal being offered. Like holy shit, those two cards are really strong. Those now getting diluted is a big deal. So I think Shaman was up at spot number 3, and I think it'll tank quite a bit. I think we'll see Shaman drop maybe to like 5 or 6 even. It's a really big drop, but no offering bonus on those two cards really hurts Shaman. Warrior, I think Warrior also takes a big hit. Warrior was doing really well, or considerably well in Old Gods, because it had some really nice bonus cards there. Then the Old Gods bonus dropped. Warrior suddenly like, no longer the bonus, really shaky. And then they got Violet Illusionist, which is a neutral but really good in Warrior. They got Fool's Bane, which is really, really good, and it's not quite good enough, I feel, to make up for all the bad cards they used to get. Like, remember when they released Bolster? Well, that shit is going to be offered more now. We're going to see more Bolsters in our packs. We're going to see more just useless cards in general. Now, it's not going to be as bad as before, because they did remove Warsaw Commander, I think, right? They did remove Ogre Warmaul, they did remove probably... Or did they remove Bolster from the arena? Yeah, they probably removed Bolster from the arena as well, right? So scrap my previous point. But anyways, it's still going to be worse, because Fool's Bane is a very nice card, and in general, like, losing that card kind of changes the way how you can make your entire draft. What else do we have here? We have Hunter. With Hunter, I really need to see how the meta is going to be, because Hunter, I think more than anything, is very dependent on what people are playing. It's not great for Hunter, right? Because you're losing a bonus on the Grandma, you're losing a bonus on the Cloaked Huntress. Those things are very nice. I don't know. With Hunter, I think it gets worse. I'm not quite sure how much worse. I'll have to test it out. I'll have to see. Because Hunter was still kind of okay right now. Priest, I mean, sure. I mean, they lose Priest to the Feast, so that's bad. What else did they get? Onyx Bishop, yeah, that's also bad. I mean, it's hard to say, right? Because Priest is already bad. I guess it just gets worse. Feels bad, man. Anything we haven't mentioned? No, I think those are the 9 classes we went over. Just not a great position to be in. You watched Pawnee go 12-0 with Warrior this morning. That's pretty awesome. Like, I had 12-0 Warrior. 12-0 Warrior was my latest 12-0. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, that doesn't matter. When Warrior works, it really works. It's really nice. Like, if you get the Fiery War access, if you get like Fool's Banes and all the taunts and shit. All right, guys. So in general, where did that leave us? I think that right now the meta doesn't undergo like a tremendous shift. We're still going to see a bunch of aggressive decks. We're still going to see a bunch of control mages. We're going to have a bunch of drafts of people who still have their Firelands Portal. So I think for the first few days, we shouldn't expect a tremendous turnaround. But I think in a couple of days, maybe even starting next week, we'll get a shift where there are less super value-oriented mages because Portal no longer has an offering bonus, which is big, right? Because right now there is a pretty much a 0, or let's call it a less than 5% chance that when you queue up against a mage and you're on a mage, that you will beat that mage in the value war. Mages were already very strong in the value war, but they weren't always going to outvalue. With Firelance Portal, that really changed. It was just so good, right? 5 damage on a thing, summon a thing on their end. Pretty much the purest 2-for-1 there is. That's now out of the window. So in general, I think we might see the meta slow down a little bit. I'm hoping, right? I think that overall people did get some decent aggressive tools, and with the bonus gone now, that might be a big thing. So we'll have to keep tabs on that. I'll test and I'll keep you guys informed. But that is my prediction, that the meta slows down a tiny bit. I don't think it's super game changing. It's more just exactly how we're going to draft classes, and we're going to have a wider variety of things coming at us, especially in the mage department. Okie dokie. Right. Okay, guys, then I'm going to take 1 second, and then we're going to get our student for the coaching session up in here. We'll get that started. Let me put that up here. If you guys are enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit the follow button. If you are new here, that's very much appreciated. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Good Gaming. They host constructor tournaments every weekend. This weekend is no exception. And you guys can win $500. You can enter for free. So go check them out. The link is below the stream. I agree with Shady Bunny. I agree with all that Shady Bunny said, except for Warrior. I think Warrior is much better now. Okay, well, we'll see about that, Dr. Stein. I think Warrior was... I think Portal was actually fine in combination with Fool's Bane, Dr. Stein. I had Warrior ranked 4th, so depending on where we ranked Warrior, you're probably right. If you ranked Warrior like 7th or 8th, then yeah, Warrior probably gets better for you. But I really liked Fool's Bane. Like, I thought the card was absolutely broken. I think it was the best card in the expansion, hands down, just better than Portal. The card is just like 12 damage in 1 turn, kill all your shit for 1 card. That's ridiculous. And you could, the way how I played, you usually could pull it off health-wise. All right, be right back, guys.